So again, we're on iHeartRadio, of course, and of course we upload this through Spotify and on Anchor.fm. So anyway, we're pleased to be on iHeartRadio. I'm a partner of iHeartRadio as well as Vinny Bucci. I helped him do this. So this is Elvis's response, and Vinny's response thanking me. And throughout the years, me and Elvis, well, it's slippery slope. Not as much as his other co-host. But anyway, I'm going to give my response following this here on the BoochCast. The BoochCast, courtesy of Vinny Bucci, Elvis Delinsky. We'll play this now.
Hold on, Elvis. I don't want to cut you off, but I have to because I got two things I need to say. First of all, I love the fact that we're getting back on the ball with AEW, and in addition to that, there's a lot of other changes that are going to be coming to the BoochCast as well. But I'll be mentioning those when Elvis and I do our variety show, preferably when he gets back from Puerto Rico is when we'll bring the variety show back, and I got a lot of stories for that. But there's one quick thing we have to make that can't wait for the variety show. And even though Elvis said that there's other people I work with that he doesn't want to talk about because they're horrible, but there's one particular person that Elvis and apparently a lot of my other co-hosts think are horrible, but we kind of have to give him a shout out. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the BoochCast is on Anchor. We're on Spotify. We're on Breaker, and we're on Google Podcasts. But, ladies and gentlemen, as of today, we have joined a new platform. The BoochCast is officially on iHeartRadio. We made it!
We made it. I mean, seriously, I feel like I dropped the ball for a while. And, Vinny dropped the news to me earlier today. I was in the middle of work, obviously, because whenever I call Vinny, I always call him between, driving from one shop to another or a tow yard or whatever bullshit I'm going to, whatever. And Vinny calls me. He's like, hey, by the way, did you know we got picked up by iHeartRadio? I'm like, how is this even possible? And Vinny, I can't possibly explain in so many words what happened. So could you enlighten us on what happened and how this amazing transfer happened?
Yes. Well, as you guys know, I have a lot of people who make guest appearances on this show from time to time. You know, your Gator Ricky Rosses and your Zachariah Scotts of the world.
Unfortunately.
But there's one man that makes occasional cameo appearances, and he has been doing this for a little over a decade. He's made frequent appearances on this show. I've made frequent appearances on his show, and whenever I mention affiliates with the BoochCast, he is one of our main affiliates, and that is, of course, Mr. Derek Shapiro.
Derek Shapiro? Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I like Derek, but I don't like Derek, but I like Derek.
Yeah.
So it's one of those love-hate relationships where I have my differences with him. The thing is I think he's a great swell guy, right? But the thing is I think he's so full of himself when it comes to a lot of different things. But the thing is he is a promotion machine. And the thing is the fact that he took interest in our show platform, and he's always hugging away. I think it's a brilliance. Derek Shapiro, I thank you. I'm going to tip my hat to you. Now, I'm always going to have my fault with you because I always have my thoughts about you when it comes to the way you do things. But at the same time, though, you are a brilliant, brilliant genius. And, seriously, I'm going to take my differences aside for 1 second and say thank you, Derek Shapiro, because you got us on a different platform where I didn't think we'd get to. I don't think we're deserving of such a title because, let's just say, our dozens and dozens of fans out there who listen to us. The only thing we get on the iHeartRadio platform. But you know what, though? You took the initiative, you made it work, and goddamn it, we applaud you for it. So thank you so much, Derek Shapiro. Round of applause. Round of applause,
yes.
Derek Shapiro.
Woo! He did, man. He called me and said that he said he was going to submit the BoochCast to iHeartRadio. And the thing is, he had called me. I was half asleep because I was up all night the night before putting out. I put out another thing. I did a classic pay-per-view review where Gator and I talked about WCW Uncensored 96. So I was in the process of editing that, getting that together, putting that out there. I've been just dealing with some stuff. Also, I had a late night podcast thing that I had to do that I'll mention on the variety show, more details about that. But I had a long night. So I wake up this morning and I'm half asleep. And usually when Derek calls me, with the exception of this obvious call, most of the time it's nonsense. So I'm just like, yeah, okay, what's up? He goes, yeah, I'm thinking about doing it. I'm like, all right, sure. Go ahead, I don't care. Because I'm half asleep. I got 3-4 hours sleep. So I hang up the phone, I go back to bed, I go to work. an hour into my shift, he sends me a link. I click on the link. We're on iHeartRadio. So Derek Shapiro, we're giving you the shout out, bro, because you earned it. The BoochCast is now iHeartRadio's on the list, and we are going to be killing it on iHeartRadio. We look forward to the fan base is going to bring us. And like I said, it's got us committed now more than ever to deliver the content that we're going to deliver, and we can't wait to knock it out of the park. So that being said, now Elvis, take us to AEW. Take us to Chicago.
So, as response to Elvis Delinsky, now I think that because I mentioned look, he mentioned Spotify. He's on Spotify. And my light went off. I'm glad my light went off because it's bright in my eyes. So because I mentioned on a lot of shows that he's on the DSS TV station. Well, hello, that's my affiliate. I carry Vinny Bucci on there, as well as I'm on VinnyTheBooch.com. And as well as he's on the countrymusics.yolosite.com. He's on the countrymusics.godaddyslace.com. The BoochCast, he's on the DSS Internet Talk Radio.yolosite.com, DSS Internet Radio.godaddyslace.com. And by the way, for the morning show that competes with me, the Fox News show now is in the mornings on the DSS Internet Talk Radio.yolosite.com, DSS Internet Talk Radio.godaddyslace.com, courtesy of iHeartRadio. And in addition to that, I have Sean Hannity after the BoochCast, because the BoochCast is 12 to 3, and I carry Sean Hannity 3 to 6. So anyway, so the thing is, I may be over the top, whatever, but the thing is, you got to be over the top, because and some people don't like my promotion. I text a lot of people. I email a lot of people. I constantly advertise on other people's pages, because when you're not getting major funding, such as iHeartRadio, we're on iHeartRadio now, but iHeartRadio owns other stations that we're actually now affiliated with, because we're on iHeartRadio as well as them. But they have the means to do billboards. They have the means to get out there on extraterrestrial radio in your car. We're not in the car. Well, of course we are, if you Bluetooth us. And I Bluetooth online radio, because I believe in our product, Vinny Bucci's product, my product. And that's why I wanted Vinny Bucci on iHeartRadio as well as we're on Spotify. But the thing is, I've been carrying on the DSS TV station for the longest time, and the reruns on DerekShapiroShow.com, leading channel 2 for the BoochCast rerun show. But I'm proud of that. People should be proud they're on every platform, as well as iHeartRadio, and I'm proud of the fact that I'm on iHeartRadio, along with Vinny Bucci and other platforms, my own platforms. And you should be very proud, because at the top of every show I mention, we're on VinnyTheBooch.com. For the D Shop of the morning. So Elvis, I get what you're saying about maybe over the top. You might not agree with everything I do, but you got to do the extra promotion, especially if you're the independent guy versus being funded by Cumulus or Beasley Media Station, or Odyssey, or iHeartRadio, the other platforms, and then the cat's going right back at me. I don't know what that means. But you can't see it on iHeartRadio or the other stations. But the thing is, and as for you, Vinny Bucci, what you said, I call him about a lot of nonsense. Yeah, okay. Being on the New Year's Eve bash, being on the movie internet channel, year-end countdown show every year, that's nonsense. No. But wait a second. I've given you some good pointers, or listen to some of your problems too, Vinny. Okay. Anyway, no, I know what you mean. Sometimes, I like calling you. I love to hear you rant, and get you upset sometimes. It's just fun. Not get you upset, but it's fun to listen to you upset, because sometimes it makes my problems seem less. No. Anyway, no. I love you, Vinny. Elvis, I thank you for the thank you. I know, and this means, like, I have to give also too in this message about Sean Hannity, because we're on the same platform as Sean Hannity for iHeartRadio. So the thing is, Sean actually has differences with Whoopi Goldberg. But he actually stood up for Whoopi Goldberg because Whoopi Goldberg got suspended um, from The View last week for 2 weeks because she said something about the Holocaust. Now, and here's my thing about Whoopi Goldberg, okay? Whoopi Goldberg is Jewish. She converted to Judaism. She said it's not about race, but the thing is, she can actually. I mean, she converted to Judaism. She didn't have any ancestors in the Holocaust. She apologized, but Sean Hannity says about all this cancel culture. We live in a cancel culture. Sean Hannity actually stood up for Whoopi. I mean, yeah, if it was someone in the that's conservative, they would have got taken off the air. But she's liberal, and like Lara Trump, on Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, who works for Fox News, said that she's glad that ABC took initiative. But suspend everybody. Well, I mean, Vinny Bucci suspended somebody from the BoochCast, for 2 weeks for something. I guess it is what it is, but maybe suspension is good. But I'm glad that Bucci actually brought him back, even though I don't see eye to eye with him. I'm not gonna mention his name. You heard his name, and a lot of his other, co-hosts have problems with him sometimes. But you know what? Like me and Elvis or the other guys, sometimes you're gonna have differences with a lot of people, but we all could work together. And I respect everybody on VinnyTheBooch.com because I respect Sean Hannity. I respected even Rush Limbaugh, God rest his soul. The thing is, we all come from different platforms and different ideas. And the thing is, the main heart is radio. The main heart is radio. Radio, radio, radio. So, like I would tell my dad, I love how Sean Hannity is on TV and radio, just like me. Ryan Seacrest, TV and radio. I think Whoopi Goldberg even had a podcast or radio. So someone who has a good work ethic in radio and TV. My son has rivradio.go.com, So the thing is, that's my response to Vinny Bucci and everybody working. I respect because we're all in the same field, but we can have our differences in the same field. And I think this is a platform where you can have arguments on the radio because this is like a ring. And I actually, like, sometimes it bothers me more to argue off the radio because this is the platform I think where it is comfortable. If someone wants to have a fight with me, argue on my show. Call me up, 678-760-1235. Email me, DerekShapiroShow@yahoo.com. That's my thoughts.